If man works in harmony with the divine law of success, he receives abundance. If by wrong actions he disrupts its generous flow into his life, he punishes himself. How are you to work in harmony with the principles of that divine law? First of all, as I said, leave behind desire for and attachment to luxuries. Develop your mind power so that it is satisfied with simple things. After that, say, well, my needs are only a part of my responsibility. I have dependents and must fulfill my obligations to them also. Provide for your family, but never spoil your children with too much money. Unless you include the welfare of others in your prosperity, you will never be ideally prosperous. I do not mean just a disinterested giving of money to needy persons, but a sincere reaching out to help others help themselves. Then you will see a tremendous law of supply at work in your own life. No matter what your situation might be, that law of reaping the good that you sow will be always with you to help you. Most people think first and foremost about themselves and about making money to satisfy their own desires. If you do that, sooner or later you are going to be deceived. Rather, you should start with this thought: my life's duty is to make others happy. Be motivated by how your actions and plans can be of benefit to others. Then devise the means to accomplish your goals. In order to serve, you must have the necessary resources. If you milk the cow, you must feed the cow. The ambition to live well and be prosperous becomes spiritualized if the purpose is to better serve others by being able to include them in your prosperity. In rendering good service, you are bound to get good returns. And when you get good returns, you can improve your own living standard and do even more for others. That is how the divine law works. You are living directly by the power of God and not by human prosperity. You may argue that unless you have jobs you cannot eat. All right, but even if I put an abundance of food and money before you, and suddenly your heart fails, what good will those material things do you? None. It is God alone who has given you life and the power to work and grow and accomplish. Your very existence is a manifestation of His will, so why shouldn't you depend directly on Him? You must absolutely remember that. If a need arises, I say, well, I must get busy. But I never wish for anything or undertake any action without first seeking God's guidance. Father, I will reason, I will act, but guide Thou my reason, will, and activity to the right thing that I should do. Then all the forces of fulfillment work with me. In little things and in big things, I have seen that divine power work. I am working for God alone. I have left everything for His cause. I am His child. If you live with the consciousness that you are His child and that He is your Father, and make up your mind to do your best with dogged determination, then in spite of obstacles, and even if you make mistakes, His power will be there to help you out. I live by that law. In that way, I was able to acquire our Self-Realization Fellowship headquarters, even though I hadn't the material means in hand to do so. And see, even in this time of depression, still I have bought this temple. I worked the divine law, and this temple is the result. Unless you also live by that law, you cannot know the power of which I speak. If you can go through your tests, smiling with faith in God, and without harboring any doubts, you will see how God's law works. In San Francisco, I had only $200 in the bank and was about to begin a lecture campaign. I had not enough money even to make a start, and many large bills had to be paid. I said, God is with me. He has given me this trouble, and He will look after me. I am doing His work. I know He will help me. If the whole world forsakes you, but you know that He is with you, His law will work its wonders for you. When my secretary came to me, and I told him how much we had in the bank, he literally collapsed on the floor. I said, "Get up." He was shaking. "We are going to jail for not paying our bills." I said, "We are not going to jail. In 7 days we will have all the money we need for the campaign." He was a doubting Thomas, but I had faith. I was not in need of money for any gain of my own, but to spread God's work. I had no fear, even for the enormity of my troubles. Fear is afraid of me. What is there to fear? Nothing should give you fear. Face all troubles with faith in God, and you will conquer. Bhagavad Gita says, "With heart absorbed in me, and by my grace, thou shalt overcome all impediments." And think of it. I was walking in front of the Palace Hotel when an elderly woman came up to me and said, "Can I talk with you?" We exchanged a few words and then out of the blue she said, "I have money to burn. Can I help you?" I replied, "I don't need your money. Why should you offer money to me when you don't even know me?" She answered, "But I do know you. I have heard so much about you." And right there she wrote out a check for $27,000. I saw in that the hand of God. But the greatest victory I had was in Phoenix. If only everyone could feel the grace of God as I have felt, they would know as I do that in Him they already have everything. That was my experience in Phoenix. I was deeply praying and meditating because I had to meet a great need in the morning and someone had failed me. My prayer was not for money, but for freedom. I said to Divine Mother, "Why am I put to such troubles? Why do I have to face such a crisis?" But I didn't stop there. I went on meditating, and then I prayed to the Mother, "Talk to me. If you tell me to do so, I will leave everything behind and walk out of the organization, singing Thy name. I do not need anything but You. I ask nothing for myself. Test me. If You will it, I shall at this moment leave everything. In Thy light I shall walk away." When Divine Mother saw that I meant what I said, this is what she replied. "I freed thee long ago, but because thou thinkest thou art not free, that is why thou art not free. Dance of life or dance of death, know that these come from me, and as such rejoice. What more dost thou want than that thou hast me?" From that day I found freedom. If you have in your consciousness the desire to please God above all else, He will look after you. What more dost thou want than that thou hast me? Will you remember that? Every one of you? It isn't much to remember. If you will meditate and sincerely pray to God, you will find Him, and He will bring to you all the prosperity you need. Use the law of meditation. It is the law of all laws, for it brings response from the power behind all power. I knew, when Divine Mother spoke those words to me, that all would be well. The necessity was met, and I was saved from a catastrophe. That power will work for you, as it has always worked for me. I speak these truths from my own experiences. It would not be possible for me to talk about them if I hadn't demonstrated them in my own life. I live by faith in God. My power is God. I do not believe in any other power. As I concentrate on that power, it works through me. I have been referred to as one of the most successful lecturers in this country. Thousands have been taught by me. Not that I am proud of myself on that account. My success is only because I have believed solely in the power of God. Eventually, I gave up all public lecture work. I am giving up everything now for God. I find that I have accomplished that part of what my life's purpose was to be. That purpose is to pick souls from the crowds and help them to know God. I have found such souls all over the country, and I am training them. I move by spirit. There has been no thought of money, but of service to mankind, and because of that, the Lord has opened up all channels to support my existence and the existence of this work of Self-Realization Fellowship Yogoda, Satsanga Society of India. I wish to serve you, that is all. That is why I am here. The minute I need help, it is there from the divine. Some money was needed for Christmas. What happens? A student wrote and said, "You have a cash balance in the bank in Detroit. What do you want done with it?" I said, "Send it immediately." My need was fulfilled at the right time. That power of God is working with you also. You will see it is so if you have faith and know that prosperity comes not from material sources, but from God.